What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of L.U.S.T. Let Us Speak Truth. I'm your host, Nick. We got the panel on here. Today, y'all, we're going to talk about common issues with a blended family and step parenting. Oh, has anybody been a step parent? Or does anybody have any step parents?
I do. I have step parents.
You have step parents?
Mm-hmm.
I got both. I've been a step parent. I'm not, currently am, and I got a stepfather, yeah.
Gotcha. So if you let's say you have stepchildren, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some co-parenting strategies that you put in play with you and your mate, with your own kids, and then bring in the stepkids?
Support. You gotta support each other. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a difference in, there's a wall that you're not necessarily allowed to cross, or a line. Let's say a line, right? So the other parent has to be willing to take it that next step further, knowing what you want to implement or what you want to discipline with, but you can't do it because it's kind of touchy. You know what I'm saying? So the other person, the biggest thing is the support from your partner, I think.
You think it's best to figure out your co-parenting strategies first before you blend your families?
Absolutely. You got to have that communication beforehand. Yeah. I'm dealing with it right now. Like my girl, she likes Saturday morning, wake up, everybody get up, clean. We're doing bathrooms, vacuuming the steps, I'm not a stickler on that because I'm trying to teach more of to me, that's like a dictatorship. That's the way I was raised. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like there was ways it could be done without doing it that way. So that's a difference for us. But because she wants it that way, compromise and say, yo, I told my kids, yo, we're in a new situation now. Just rock with it. It's only going to make us better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some things step parents should never do?
Try to build a solid relationship too fast with that child. Also, too, being a parent and not being that child's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, Lanita, Tootie, Trav, can y'all think of anything that a step parent should never do?
I think a step parent should never try to separate their biological children and the stepchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the children know their place, but I think when it comes down to it, there shouldn't be any shown favoritism. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think some parents may show favoritism, but I'm not speaking from experience. I don't have stepchildren, and I don't have step parents, but I know that having a daughter from a previous relationship, I can speak from that point, but she's not my stepdaughter. She's my daughter. So,
Right.
but I just think that making sure that the other person should be really speaking a lot more positive into that child's life to make sure that child is feels accepted, and just to make sure that there's no difference or the love and favoritism isn't there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I had step parents, so I had a stepfather and a stepmother. Like I told you, my parents got married 3 months of each other when I was 9. And neither one of them were disciplinarians. Like, I don't know if that was something that they had discussed with my parents about discipline or whatever, but neither one of them were like disciplinarians when it came down to me and my brother. But we were the only two. And then when I was 13, I got another brother or whatever.
Right.
But that was never like an issue. Like, our step parents were amazing, both of them. And I'm not just saying it like, I knew my mom. I remember I was struggling in math, and my stepmom was great at it. And my mom said, well, I called her and I told her, and she said, okay. So instead of her coming to pick me up to take me with her to work with me, my mom was like, well, no, you come on and sit down. And gave us snacks and all that other kind of stuff, because it wasn't about what their beef was. It was about me being supported. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the kind of thing that I grew up like that. Like, I don't know about having bad step parents and parents abusing them and that kind of thing, because my step parents weren't those people.
Right, right. Trav, what were you gonna say?
Well, let me ask y'all a question. Hey, Nick, what's the stats on relationships working out when children under 18 are involved? You got those stats?
Yep. When both spouses have small children from a previous marriage, the divorce rate is 70%.
Damn.
With small children?
Yeah, under 18.
Hmm.
70%.
The reason I asked that is for one reason in particular. and this is how I feel. How does that work for particularly a man like me that wants to run his own program in a house? But if you have a biological father that is anywhere and he wants to be there, I would never overstep those boundaries. Ever. Ever. I would, because that's his blood. I would never overstep that. I don't care what the circumstance was. So for me, the way I look at it, it's a very difficult situation for a man like myself. I truly don't see any benefit in that whatsoever. I don't see any benefit in it whatsoever. Because when I say that, what if that dude, school, those things, I want him to be a part of that. And and he's always gonna come first. Because I want him to come first. That's their father.
Okay,
So
let me
I
ask
don't,
let me
I
ask
don't
you this,
understand
Trav.
that.
What if you got with somebody and they had 2 children and by one father and that father is deceased?
Well, I mean,
Th-
another thing, a lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm getting ready to say, but I've said this to many a men. The only time that it's a good situation to be in is when he is deceased or incarcerated. So you can run your own offense, whatever you can plan to do. I know that sounds harsh, but what I mean is for me, if I was to take on a lady with children, I want to run my own camp, but I can't run my camp honestly because I want him. And when I say camp, I'm gonna soften it up.
So,
When I say camp, I know that sounds like, "Ugh," so I'm gonna soften it up. I want to have an environment for the house that works for everybody. And that's that you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in there being a tyrant or anything like that. I want it to work. But I can't do that. Like I'm gonna give you an example. If it was me and Ro, I would have me and him would have to go have a conversation away from everybody. Because if we didn't, and I go through the house and I bump his son, not on purpose, it could be he could say, man, that dude bumped me. He don't know me. Now we 2 men and we got a problem we got to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
but that conversation that you're having would be out of respect, and that conversation should always take place. Even if the father is not active or not as active, or just sometime that connection should always take place. So there's an understanding of where the parenting is, or two moms, like the two parent. Either way, there needs to be have a conversation for expectations and boundaries when it comes to blended families.
Right.
so let me ask a question. So what if, because a woman and a man, both parties can always walk away from, the children. But what if, like, you get into a relationship, you're married to this woman or you're married to this man, the mother is MIA, don't want to have nothing to do with the kid, and then 10 years later, he or she shows up. What would you do in that situation?
That's her blood, though, Tanya.
I
No, I'm
would,
not saying push her out. I'm saying, what would you do?
Go ahead.
I would push my kids toward her or the other parent. I would push. That's people make mistakes. A lot of people make mistakes, and we gotta acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? When you're going through these relationships and you have breakups and emotions, and you know what I'm saying, as adults, we make mistakes as well. So to separate yourself for 10 years, you're incomplete as a person. So if that person is coming back in to complete themselves and also bring that to that child, I think that's very important to push them in that direction.
All day.
And I can agree with that. But what I'm saying is, you've been with this woman for 5 years or whatever. The mother or the father come back in their life. However, as Travis says, he got his camp set up differently. So now you got the father who's been MIA. You got the mother who's been MIA is coming back and changing the trajectory of the household now by telling her son or her daughter, or him telling his son or daughter, you don't have to listen to him.
Right. That's not going to happen though. That's all about the relationship that you built with that child prior to that person returning. You know what I'm saying? You gotta build your, like you said, build your castle and stand on it. And it's not, you don't have to be extra crazy about it. You can be real smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? Handle things with gloss, not sandpaper.
That's a good one, right?
Dropping jewels.
Hey, Tony, you know what's funny? I was listening to this chick one time, and she was just talking about her kids, and she used to work with me. She said every time she would send the kids for the weekend that the father had them, she would have to get them back in line and get them back on that other house's program. So here's the thing: I'm a nightmare to deal with as the biological father, because I'm at soccer games. I'm bringing donuts to school. I call every day at 4 o'clock. I'm taking you school shopping. I'm buying cars for teenagers. I'm paying senior dues. I'm too much. My name floating through the house too much. You don't want to deal with all that.
Right.
You don't want to deal with that.
Person, I would. If I was the other guy and I was married to the woman and you were the other father, I would welcome that, my brother, with open arms. Because you know what it is like I said, Joe, it's maturity. You know what I'm saying? You're being a great father to these child. All I'm here to do is support and help with the little bit of things that you can't do because you're not physically there all the time. That's all I'm there for. Support what you got going on, the way you see it, and keep it pushing that way.
Good answer.
That's legit. That's legit. But I'm glad y'all got to talking about this, but not every scenario or every situation is perfect or even as good as you guys make it sound, because my stepfather or step-parent situation was none of what y'all talking about. I promise you. And I was a handful. I made it hard on my step pops. Even to this day, we still ain't on that one. We good, but we not like tight.
Right. See, that's why you supposed to have one of them generals run up on you, and either y'all would have been good or y'all have been good, or he just broke it up all the way.
Right. Hey, now my mom's broke it up all the way. She told me one time, she said like this, me and him got into it real heavy one time. He left for a little bit. My mom said, so what we gonna do? I like, shoot, I get a job. You know what I'm saying? We good. Don't worry about it. Like, we straight. Mm-hmm. And, my mom, she said something to me that, that changed my perspective on her relationship with him. In fact, she said, well, I'm gonna tell you like this, son. She's like, that man makes me happy. And she's like, with him being gone, I'm unhappy. She said, if I'm unhappy, you unhappy.
That's right.
It was that look in that same pause. I remember that we were standing in the living room that she got right now. I promise you. I was like, that's what it hit me. I'm like, all right, I need to let that situation. I need to ease up on dude, because I was like this. He can't come back up in here. I'm ready to fight to the death for this. I'm like,
right.
Like you know what I'm saying? I'm at this point. I'm like 16, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? He in his mid-30s. Don't get me wrong. He still got something left in him, but I'm in high school. I'm feeling myself. I'm benching over 300 pounds. I'm like, I'm a fighter. Let's go.
Right. Go ahead, Trav.
Steve.
What up, man?
First and foremost, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. What's up with you, man?
I want to say something. I don't mean no harm when I say this.
Nah, you good. You good.
What she was saying was, this man is supplying that mule, and you ain't gonna get in the way.
I got it. No, I got it. That's what
you're not gonna mess this up.
Okay.
You
sometimes you gotta stop and say okay. That was one of them
times. That now as grown men, see, I wouldn't understood at 16, but as a grown man, like, hey, you not gonna mess this. You're not finna mess this up.
Man, me and my mom's already had that kind of relationship back then. We was able to talk. Like, my mom's one of those ones. She's like, I'd rather you come to me, talk to me, do all that kind of stuff. So in this situation, we were open to have this conversation, and she was just like, basically, I'm telling you, like, he make me happy, and don't nothing else matter at this point in time, because he you know what I'm saying, he was he took care of the household and that kind of thing. Me and him we've really just never seen eye to eye on a whole bunch of stuff. Even now to this day, we still at that point where I had to when I finally moved out, I had to say, like, man, this y'all household, this y'all do y'all thing, because I can't sit here and worry about if somebody's taking advantage of y'all, or your husband got too drunk or whatever it is. I'm like, whatever he do is on y'all. I have to let that go, because I couldn't protect my moms forever.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Ro.
I got a good one too. Actually, I'm going through this right now. Like my lady, her son is 18, right? And when they moved in, we merged households and everything. My boys, I had to sit them down and explain to them, like, yo, I don't have, like, there's no favoritism, to him.
Right.
Because I was giving him a lot of attention because one, I was developing that relationship with him. And two, he never had a man living in his household. So he was up, when I tell you he was up under me, like right here, to the point my kids is like, and I'm like, yo, y'all take me for granted because I'm here every day. He ain't never had a man in the household on a daily basis to talk about man stuff. I'm teaching this young man how to cut hair, everything. He just went to the Air Force last week, but it's a real situation, man. But I tell you, the reason, I promise you to God, the reason why I've been so good in this relationship with his mother is because I don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't want to like the first representation that he has of a man on a daily basis in the crib. His father's not a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? They have their own issues. That's on them. But I don't want to mess up the representation of what he think a man is supposed to look like in the household on a daily basis.
Right.
I actually went back to his mom because of that. Like, we broke up and I felt so bad. I was like, man, damn, I went back. Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was he when you started?
Go ahead.
17. So we only been together for almost 2 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
That's yeah.
I'm a good guy, y'all. What's up?
And see, y'all, I don't have any step parents, but I did have stepchildren. I still call them my children. I wasn't married to the first one, but I took him in because I've known him since he was 2. And then my stepdaughter, we still talk till this day. I treated both those kids exactly like I would treat my own till this day. So don't treat them different. Go ahead, Trav.
So I'm gonna ask y'all this, like, cause I want to know. So Ro just told me how that works out for him, and then you said the stats is 70%. So 70% of the time, that's a shit job being a step parent, and predominantly for the man because the man is around the kids more so, because a lot of times men don't have their kids. So as a man, how is it a good deal for a man to raise another man's kids when he has his own kids? I want to know.
So I'm gonna tell you the truth. Some dudes don't raise their own kids; they raise them other kids.
That's the dumbest shit on earth.
Hey, I can't. Hey, you can say
That
that,
is the
man.
dumbest shit
I'm
on earth.
gonna put it to you like this. Me and my pops didn't get along till I was 35. You know what I'm saying? She's got 2 other kids. You know what I'm saying? The lady he married. You know, but the situation was
He raised them.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit, bro.
So but put like this, he met her when I had to be like 3 or 4, and her son's what 2-3 years younger than me.
Were you on the other side of the country?
No, on the other side of the city.
Come on.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like me and my pops, we didn't vibe like that. Like
it doesn't matter about vibing. Even if you don't vibe with me, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do as a dad.
He wasn't that guy, man. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, I understand what y'all saying, and even though you guys are great, not everybody's in that situation, man. I had a straight crapshoot. Like, I got lucky. I got lucky to be the person I am. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
But Steve, what I'm asking is, if you have children, how is it a good deal? Because, like I said, the majority of the time, the kids are with the mother. So you're going to be a stepfather, and you're going to be around another man's kids if that's what you choose to do. How is that a good deal when you have your own children to raise?
Go ahead, Ro.
It's I don't want to sound cliche or like I'm trying to be corny or nothing, right? This is really how I think. Our purpose in life was to reproduce, right? And as long as you watering your seeds, your life will be fruitful. This is the way that I think. So raising somebody else's children and being the example, the easiest way to teach how to be a man is to be the example of that. So having your own kid, it's not a job that you're taking on, it's a privilege, is how I see it.
Another man's kids are a privilege?
No, you're looking at it wrong. When you pretense the sentence with another man's kids, these are just
That's
kids.
what it is, bro.
No, it is. I agree. But it's how you look. It's your
But they're
perception.
still kids, though. They're still kids. They don't have any choice in this.
Right.
That's got to do with the mom. If she picked bad, that's on her.
Right, but that's not the kid's fault, though. So you being there to take on the responsibility of being that person in their life, you're helping the child. So you have to take take away the selfish side of it, right? Not you personally, but take away
No,
the
no, no.
selfish side of me helping, me taking care of another man's kids. No, I'm taking care of a child, period.
Right.
But what about,
If
I think what Travis is saying is, how are you to take care of another person's child or kids when you're not present and not taking care of your own children?
That makes no lot. Thank you. That makes
That's
no
what he's
lot.
saying.
I didn't know that was the question. I didn't know that
Me
was the
either.
question. I think that's retarded. That's crazy.
Wait. So you're saying that if a guy doesn't take care of his kids, but he gets with somebody else and takes care of theirs,
That's nuts.
that's
It
not-
is.
That's what he's
I agree
crazy.
completely, wholeheartedly.
But is it
But
easy? Is it easy for it to happen though?
yes, it
be
is,
real.
and it happens a lot.
Because, and hold on though, because check this out though. The relationship that person has with his own children, because he does no longer live in the house, the relationship with the mother has a very big impact on the relationship with the children. It doesn't have to, but it does. But
Is it-
speaking logical, not,
But
you know what I'm saying?
let's just say it wasn't the mother. Let's say it was the significant other of the man
That did what?
that caused the turmoil in between the kids.
Oh, and then that man needs to separate himself from that woman. That's easy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that person, period.
Go ahead, Tootie.
I have a brother who is known for picking bad baby mamas. He is like, hell, I ain't like, I don't like either one of them, and everybody it ain't no. But the thing is, I have a niece who is 16 now. So, Travis, you finna have a fit. I already know what's gonna happen. But he has a daughter that he took with him, and my mom raised her for the most part. She finally lived with my brother for like a year, and then they moved to another state with his ex-girlfriend. Well, he left my niece with the ex-girlfriend.
Say what?
Oh, that's crazy.
Wait.
See,
What? Say what?
see what I said? See?
Tootie, slow it down, cause like I can't. I'm like
I
Rocky.
know.
I'm like Rocky on here so good. So say that one more time for me.
He took my niece.
His
And they moved
biological
to-
daughter, his blood
Yeah.
daughter.
They moved to another state.
Okay.
And when it started going bad with the girlfriend that they moved down there for him to live with, he left my niece with her. Now, I had tried to get her. I was going to adopt her, and he wouldn't let me have her.
A 16-year-old girl.
She's 16 now, but she was like 11, 12 when it happened.
Wow.
Bless her heart.
Hold on, no. Hold on, quick question. What is the relationship that the girl has with the woman?
She knows that my niece has been through a lot of shit because her mama ain't shit.
Where her mama at?
Okay, so let me explain
Ain't
this mom's
shit. That's
There you
situation.
go. Tell us the
That's
backstory. Tell us the
Okay,
backstory.
so the mom was not fit to be a mom, which is how she ended up living with my mother. So when my niece got about 10, I think, she would come and stay with me every summer. So when she was about 10, we talked one day and she said, I told her that her mom had reached out to her. And she said, I want to talk to her. So she did. I let her call her. And she asked, could she go see her? Well, she lived 3 hours away from me in Dallas. And I was like, I think that's a good idea. So me and my mom talked about it. My mom was like, yeah, okay, she can go. So the plan was for her to stay for 2 weeks. So I get her down there. She goes to visit. And 2 weeks is time for her to come home because she was coming home for the 4th of July. And I said, I was going to come and get you. She was like, well, I want to stay I want to stay long. Okay, fine. So she was having a good time. She wanted to stay. And I talked to her every day. So it wasn't an issue because I knew that she was okay. So the end of the summer, and she said, I think I want to stay down here. And I said, okay. So I was like, I'll tell everybody, we'll put money together so we can get your school clothes, so on and so forth, if that's where you want to be. Because I feel like everybody needs to know their mom. Everybody needs to know their dad. I just feel that way. Right. And so her mom calls me on the phone and tells me that she can't stay because they got too much drama going on in the house. I don't know what the drama is, and my niece won't talk to me on the phone about it, but I'm going down here to pick her up. So when I went down there to get her, I bring her back to my house, and she's moving different. Like we're so open with each other, but she's hiding from me. And I know it's something that she hasn't told me that I can't put my finger on. And finally I said, you better go on and tell me whatever it is, because I know it's something. Yeah, they stole her clothes. She didn't know how to tell. Her mom, her aunts, her cousins, they stole her clothes.
Oh, so these some rotten motherfuckers.
Okay.
That's
Ratchet.
crazy.
Ratchet. Look
They
at
stole
Steve's
her.
face.
And she was scared to tell me because she thought she did something wrong. She didn't do anything wrong.
She ain't
Right.
did nothing
But
wrong.
at that point, at that age, she's 10 years old. I mean, what could she do besides
Yeah,
cover her body? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's how sorry her mom was.
So okay, so y'all,
Mm.
this like well, everything we saying, like I told you, like that like you say, Tootie, you already know I am. So certain stuff get the best of me.
I do.
I ain't an advocate for fucking with kids. Like, don't. It's hard enough to get to be a grown up. So don't fuck with if don't fuck nobody else kids up and don't fuck yours up. But again, y'all, if you ain't taking care of your own kids and you run around playing Santa Claus for somebody else's kids, I got a big old problem with that as a man. So that's my
Mhm.
question.
That's a build a bear.
What
I
you
mean,
doing?
but yet, even yet, it's still though, you know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all don't grasp is that regardless of whatever else, man, there's still opposite sides of all that. Like, I great, like, you know what I'm saying? Rory, you sound like you a good dude. Trav, I know you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. But the thing about it is, y'all never thought about what that other side really looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like real on a real level. Like
Steve,
I
give me this
live.
scenario. Steve, give me a scenario.
All right, perfect example. So my pops was never there. You know what I'm saying? He paid child support or whatever, but was not there. Like I said, he's still on the other side of the city. You know what I'm saying? My mom's me, my stepfather when he was 11. My father, he been with his wife since I was 3. You know what I'm saying? Her son is 2 years younger than me, so he met her when her son was 1. Her daughter's a year older than me, so she's 4 at the time. They went through their whole life. Like he looks at her grandkids as his grandkids and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but you know what I'm saying? Like it took some dramatic circumstances to put me and him together to even get back on the same page. But at this point, I'm like, you know, too much time has already passed. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here and be bitter about it, or I can just, you know, try to make the best out of the situation. You know, but the thing about it is that y'all just don't see that other side. Like I
Does
didn't know,
he
like
acknowledge?
at that point in time, like I didn't go down there with them. Like I didn't hang out. Like if I saw my pops, he was at my grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? When he came, like it was like a hit and miss type thing. Like I never knew about that whole other situation down there. Now the adults they may have, but they never interjected me into that. But I got to make my own mind about how I felt about my father. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying?
Steve,
I
does your
hate it.
does your biological father, does he have any, how does he treat your son? Or does
I,
he involved?
he loves my son to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I had my son, I had a conversation with him trying to put my father issues to rest. It somewhat happened and it didn't happen. But like I said, my son was like 2 or 3, and then we had me put in a car together for 8 hours to go to a funeral. You know what I'm saying? Then we had nothing but 8 hours, just nothing but space and opportunity. You know, I told him, I said, you get to acting funny, I'm gonna put you out the car. Not like legit, like we didn't like, man, like it's on site.
Or
I've almost,
you told your old man.
I've almost killed, I've almost shot dude before. Like it's legit. Like
Wait a minute, you was gonna put your old man out the car?
hell yeah, I would.
Make them walk.
Like we got into a situation. I almost popped.
He said, "Look, if you ain't gonna act right, you gonna have to tuck and roll."
And in turn, baby.
Hey, like y'all don't get to see that side of me because you know what I'm saying. Usually I'm laid back. I try to be more of an adult.
Steve, you
Nah,
told your old man he was gonna have to get out the car.
Yeah, if I say if you get to tripping, docs, I'm gonna put you out.
I'm talking about your daddy.
Yeah.
His daddy, Travis. His daddy.
His daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, you know I'm that guy. Like, hey, when it comes to certain things, man, I just don't like you don't let stuff ride. Like certain stuff just don't fly with me. You know what I'm saying? Like me and him ain't really never connected like that. You know what I'm saying? But during that 8-hour trip, me not putting him out the car, we got to a point where we saw eye to eye because he never really understood who his son really was. He was too busy doing him. He had his other life that he had with, you know what I'm saying, with his wife and her kids and all that. He never understood me to save his soul. I'm talking about to the point where he didn't know that I was left-handed, to the point where he didn't know that a lot of stuff, he didn't know anything about me, to tell you the truth. nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? So like y'all see one side of it, and y'all think about, you know what I'm saying, but there's a whole flip side to this step parent thing and not raising your kids thing that a lot of people go through that maybe that y'all just don't understand because y'all don't even think about that because that's not how y'all roll. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? So like me and my stepfather, like I gave him hell because like I've always defended my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like she was married once before she married my stepfather to my brother's father. You know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy. Like she beat, you know what I'm saying? They was fighting all the time, you know what I'm saying? I'd run up on dude and I mean I'm 8, 9 years old running up on dude like you ain't gonna be up on my mom's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
so it's like, you know, like he didn't care, like so I early on I just got to that point where I figured out that it was just gonna have to be me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I even my little brother too, it took him he was almost 30 for him to finally figure out. He's like, man, my brother just really cared about me more than I ever thought he did. He treated me like I was almost like his dad more than I was his brother because I wasn't gonna let him go out there. You know what I'm saying? People chopping up dope around us,
Right.
smoking, kicking,
Right.
doing all that stuff. I didn't let him get into all that, and they were surprised. He was surprised when he thought about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there was too much going on. I said I couldn't lose you to what they were doing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He could have ended up shooting, being shot in the streets, being in jail. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, because he was young and influential, and I didn't let him get into all that.
Right. Right. Go ahead, Trav.
Hey, Ro, I want to ask Ro a question. So, the lady you with, y'all live together, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, y'all sleep in the same bedroom in the same room day in and day out, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, where's this boy at when y'all like he in his room, right?
Yeah, well, he in boot camp now, but yes, he
But I
was in
mean,
the room.
he was around you like that.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
and bro, I want to know. So,
Yeah.
after you done killed his mom that night, and you get up that morning to walk down the hall, y'all look at each other.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn, boy, I couldn't take that.
But
I'd
so
have
what's
got the hell out of that house.
but
I'm talking about me.
what's the difference? But what's the difference when you do it with your own kids and they mama?
But that's you, they biological.
It
Man,
don't matter. You got to get
Don't matter.
biological out your mind.
man, if
And
I
then, but
walk
you
down,
gotta understand, the
listen, let
woman
me tell you
loves, she
something.
loves Roy.
Listen,
Let me
She
tell you
loves
something.
Roy.
If
Listen.
I'm
She's supposed
17
to.
and I walk down the hall and I hear Ro with that Teddy Pendergrass voice, and I know he been that, and I see one of his nuts fall out of his shorts, I can't handle it. I'm gonna pass out. Fuck that. I can't handle
Yeah. I would do that if I would do that if it was my real dad walked out with his nuts out. I'd
it.
pass out.
Look,
Hey
look,
man,
y'all. Hold on.
hopefully Bo is being considerate and he try to get it after, you know, to the kids asleep or
I
whatever.
still
But
won't.
you know, you still be respectful. Like I
Uh,
give my stepfather that much credit. I never had to hear none of that joint. I was
treat
so
them
glad.
kids the same. Treat them kids
Yeah.
the same. But listen, y'all, things step parents should never do. I found 10 things, you know how I did my research. And the first thing is try not to push them to be your best friend.
Mhm.
Number 2, don't engage in parenting behavior too soon. The third thing is avoid displaying favoritism toward your biological children, Travis. Number 4, never speak ill of the ex. 5, discipline is up to the parents. I kind of don't believe that. I think you should all discipline, you know.
It's just how you
Okay.
this should just be just how you
Yeah.
discipline,
There's
you know.
girls.
Right, right. Don't act in the role of a replacement because you are not. He has a father or he has a mother or she. Avoid playing favorites. Don't create unrealistic expectations. Understanding and following boundaries. And many people in the family may not see you as a parental role. So let's talk about the family. If as a step parent, okay, Ro, you have both. You had the step
Mhm.
parent and the step. So when it came to your own family, how did they react with you taking on other people's kids? Did they care, or was it just like,
No, I don't think so because I think you're talking about my family, like outside of my immediate household, like my blood, my mama, and all of them.
correct?
See, I, nobody ever looked down on it because they look at it, like I said, it's like a privilege to be able to raise somebody, to be able to raise children, period. So I promise you, man, and I'm saying this with all my open heart, I've never felt as complete of a man as I do now, being the head of this household and being a father figure to people that ain't even mine, that ain't even my blood, but they look at me as if like I have a stepdaughter as well. She's not my step because we're not married, but she's 27 years old. She's been in the Navy 8 years. You know what I'm saying? But she calls me and be like, yo, like we talk, we have regular conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I was her pops, but I'm very open and I communicate. I know I'm not your father. I know I'm not. I never want to overstep, but I'm going to treat you the same way I treat my kids. So when I talk to my kids and say, hey, bitch, excuse my language, what the fuck is up with them dishes? I say the same thing to her son. You know what I mean? It's the same difference. My family, my sister and all of them, they look at it like I'm doing something good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's like that for you, Ro, because you're taking care of your kids and you're bringing it, and a lot of times it's not like that.
Right.
So, and I think that's what Steve was touching on. But I think for you, it's a great thing. It is a privilege, it's an honor because you're already taking care of your own kids. And I mean, not to separate the dynamic, but I'm just saying like how your dynamic is set up. I mean, my hat's off to you.
Yeah, but then to answer your question on the flip side, right? Now, if I was not taking care of my own children, my family would have a problem with me taking on somebody else's children.
Right.
Absolutely.
My mother would be like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Take your ass over there and go get your own damn kids.
Yeah.
Right.
That's something to talk about. You don't take care of other people's kids if you don't take care of your own.
Exactly.
That's a big,
don't play daddy when you can be one. Like
right. Exactly.
This
Well,
is
yeah, I just don't know.
some real good shit y'all got saying because I'm confused as hell. Like,
don't be confused, Travis. Hey, this is all you got to understand, man. Is that every child deserves to have somebody to aspire to be. Whether it's you know, say somebody that's there because if their daddy's not there and there's a stepfather that's willing to try, you got to get that man the opportunity.
Man, that's a tough job, bro.
It's not really, Trav, because listen, it's not because you ain't never done it yet.
Yeah, but if
okay, wait, so you do it. You go to the
hospital. There's something wrong with the kids.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, say that again.
I said you go to the hospital, biological come in the room and you can't.
The biological father can come in the room when you can't. Is that what you said?
If they're
in the hospital. Yeah.
Well, you know, a man. What you gonna do, Trav? As a man, this is how I see it. I mean, step aside. It should be no hard feelings. You know what I mean? Yeah. So why is it so difficult for you? Why is it so difficult for you to comprehend that, though? I mean, you can have a beautiful relationship being a stepfather.
Because I'm
Ooh, Trav, your phone's is breaking.
Because I'm so serious about my kids. So if another man is breaking up.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
I think we understand what you're saying, man. And
I understand what he's saying.
But man, he got to get past that because you know what I'm saying. Like it's like I've coached kids. You know what I'm saying. I have a son of my own. I've been a guy that's been with women that have had children before. Huh?
Did you hear what I said? Is it clear? Is that better? It's still broken up.
Nah, it's still
it's terrible. It look like you drunk.
About to say his connection been drinking too.
You got that Hennessy Wi-Fi.
Hey man. But on the real, like that's what people don't understand. Like when I coach, they was like, "Oh, which one is your son?" I was like, "I don't have one." I'm like, I'm out here just because I want to give back. You know what I'm saying? Because I was one of those dudes in the community that, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I got kids out there. They want to play, ain't got no money. Guess what? We doing a fundraiser. We standing out there on the corners. We doing what we got to do, taking private donation. You know what I'm saying? Yep. We ain't got no cleats and shoes, man. It's been many a time me and my wife paid for cleats for kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's one of those situations where if Trav ever understands that it's more to it, it's more to give than just money. It's more about you giving yourself. You're adding to somebody's life and not just rolling over on it. You know, it's a weird thing. You know, because like I said, I've seen it 360 from different angles. You know, but the thing about it is at the end of the day, are you willing to make an impact in that child's life over just being with their mom and just banging her out?
That's the key word.
Impact.
A child's life. It doesn't matter.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right.
Impact on a child's life is the key word you have to remember as you grow when it comes to being a step parent with with someone else's children?
Steve, could you tell me the benefit?
You want to know the benefit?
Mhm.
The benefit is giving the child the opportunity to see.
I'm talking about to you, not to the child, to the man.
To me, okay, I give it to you. The benefit, like she was just saying, because it's what I just said. You're making an impact in the child's life that otherwise wouldn't be made. You know, you're giving them an opportunity to see you and what your program is, and being able to be a man in that situation, and taking them in and involving them in something that they probably wouldn't have been involved in otherwise.
It's a privilege.
Like,
It's
let
a
me ask you,
privilege
hey Trav, let me ask you this
to
question.
take
Let me
care of
ask you
another
this
man's
question,
kid.
Trav. Do you have a coach that you ever played for that was almost like a father figure? You know what I'm saying, to you, even though you had parents?
I had a white coach that I loved.
It's no, that's like being a step parent right there, man. When you got somebody that cares about you just because you,
But he ain't have to pay
and,
for no school clothes or none of that though.
but you know
I
it's
don't have to either. The step parent don't have to.
it's not about that. It's about the impact that that person made on your life, even though they wasn't your father. They took the time, they listened, they did all that stuff to make you have that level of respect for them. And there's God,
But
you have to, in that
to me, you're
situation, you have
doing it
to.
because to me you're doing it because you're having sex with their mom.
No, I mean that.
No.
No, it's not about that.
Travis,
Well,
sometimes you
just
just gotta realize that you want to see somebody else's kid make it. No matter who you are in this life, everybody needs to be somebody's baby.
And
Somebody can always pour something into a
Tootie,
person.
I can hear it if you are taking care of your own kids. I can better suit it. It's better. I can better stomach it. If you're not taking care of your own kids and you fuck around with somebody else's kids and you walking there and you making sure they got what they need, that is some dumb shit.
So
I
how
mean, well,
about we
we
have a
got that
parent?
point though. Yeah, that's a fact. If you're not taking care of your own, then you out
Yeah,
back to
but
take
we
care of somebody
How,
passed
else.
that, Travis.
Yeah, we
right,
passed that part already, big
Okay,
dog.
so let's get
No.
to the next thing.
but
Tootie,
what happens if that person doesn't have any kids of their own and they take care they don't have any kids of their own, and then they
Exactly.
the
take
man or the woman,
on
the man or the woman.
the man doesn't have any
He
kids
can
of
go be
their
a big
own,
brother at the YMCA.
See,
and
me
then
and my
she
brother
gets
were the only two until I was 13, and my stepfather doesn't have any birth children. So me and my brother are his kids. My stepmom had two kids later, but we were the only two. So it was never an issue about who gonna do what. I told you my stepmom stepped up because my dad didn't do shit. So that doesn't work for me.
Mm.
Okay, let me ask y'all a question. So say there's a child who a man raised since they were young, and then now they're of age, they're an adult. And then the man fights with the mom. So now you dismiss the child too.
What you
I
mean?
think
He's still back to his rightful owner?
No. So let's say he raised a girl. He was married. This is from a previous relationship, let's just say. They get together, they're married. You raised this child since they were a baby. And then all of a sudden, like you're divorced now, and now you moved on. But that child continues calling you dad and raised them. He raised her.
right.
And then all of a sudden, she's, let's say, of age, she's adult age, and he's pissed off at the mom. So he takes it out on her and doesn't
He
want
was
nothing to do with her.
he
But
was
doesn't
never
he
really
do it
that
to
guy in
all
the
of the
first place.
kids?
He was never that guy in the first place. He was
But
just playing a role.
let me say this.
A real dude don't do that.
Let me say this. It's a difficult situation for me to even comprehend. But if I took the responsibility for a child at that age,
Mhm.
and I decided to do that, I'm gonna go 110 if I decide to do that. Let me give y'all something. One more quick thing to where it's really difficult for me. So I know this guy personally, and he's had a good job forever. He's been with this lady. She has three daughters. He took responsibility of these three daughters, raised them, bought cars, did everything. So let's just say over the last 10 years of being in these kids' life, monetarily, let's say he's taking care of health care, all those different things. Let's say he's probably made over the last 10 years, 1.4 million. I'm 1.3 million, maybe.
Okay.
Consistent income over the course of these last 10 years. Worked like a dog, took care of business.
Mm-hmm.
He put money into those 3 kids. Those kids have been fed school clothes, activities,
Mm-hmm.
vacations, everything. They get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
She takes the kids. She bounces to Florida. How is that a good deal for him? I don't want to hear nothing about no goddamn impact. I want to say, how is that a goddamn good deal for him?
Where does he live?
He lives here in Atlanta.
But what I don't understand is when if you move genuinely, right? Genuinely, the things you did have $0 attached to them. You did it because that's your job, that's your role, responsibility that you've taken on. So when she picks up and bounces with them kids, that's for her to answer for later. It's gonna hurt you. It's gonna bother you. It's gonna hurt your little soul. And hopefully, the relationship you built with them kids, when they get of age, they're gonna come back around and come back to find you because they know that the relationship they had with you. That's where the good side comes in at. So if you take the money out of it, big homie, and just look at it as that's just what we do, period, as people, not just men, women and men, that's what we do. Like I said, you water them seeds, bro. I don't care where the plant is at. You just water the seeds. Your life is going to be fruitful, bro. Promise.
Kids
Trav,
don't
Trav,
ever.
you sound emotionally detached at times, bro.
No. I just talk with him.
Everything comes back to the money portion.
Well, Steve,
it's hard for the man.
Steve. Here's the thing. I wouldn't feel like that if in divorces women didn't get men shit. I wouldn't feel like that if kids wouldn't come up and say I need this all the time. I wouldn't feel like that if the money didn't play such a big role in all the avenues of our life. Here's the problem. I hear what Ro's saying. I hear what you're saying. Where my 1.4 at? I could have put that in another household. That's what I'm talking about. And I've been told by friends that I'm transactional. I'm emotionally, when it comes to I'm attached to money. It's not really that. I'm attached to what the money can do for my people, and my people being my lady, my kids, whatever.
The money did something for the folks that the money did something for. Stop worrying about it.
How is that a good deal?
You can
But
make
you
the
took
money
on the
again.
responsibility. You took on the responsibility though. So them and at that moment they was your people. You took on that job.
But all that effort, they went out the door.
Wait, are they his kids? Are they
Kids
his?
ain't go out the door. The mama did. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
They went with her.
All
They
right,
ain't
bro.
with him.
Their kids?
They her kids.
Are they his biological kids?
No, they're hers.
They're her kids.
They got to go with them.
And and Tootie, where in the hell did my 1.4 million go?
Thank you for investing in their futures.
Shit, she should have put herself on the track and worked that money off.
No, Travis.
She was on your track, back and forth up the hallway.
It was
all good when you was humping on it and everything was together.
I'm just saying.
I don't know no Cougars worth 1.4 that you can hump for 10 years and then get up and walk off. She ought to be paid.
Okay, so what was her reason for leaving? That's what you should ask. And ask that. Why did she leave?
She wasn't happy.
Why was she not happy?
He ain't no cheater. He ain't no cheater. I don't know,
Okay.
Tanya. I ain't been
That
around.
don't mean, but cheating is not the worst thing you can do to a person.
What did he do? What?
Maybe he was beating her ass and didn't nobody know.
Nah, he
don't
ain't got that in him. He ain't no beater either. I know them two things for sure.
How long were they together?
About I know every bit about 12 years.
They were together for 12 years.
Maybe he had a small penis. Like she might have got
Wait a minute, Tootie. What you just say?
Somebody he had a small penis. She got tired. She got tired of faking it. I don't know. But at any rate, it had to be something there for her to leave. It was something that didn't make her.
Tootie, go back to that. If he had a small penis, then she should have hand raised him and pulled and jacked on it, made it a little longer, and she could have got some more service.
That might not have been working.
No,
Maybe it didn't stay right.
Bro, why do we subject ourselves to this, dog? Me and Ro just sitting here looking like, what?
Oh my goodness. No.
Maybe she was hungry and she asked for a steak and he brought her a bite eating. You don't know what the hell happened.
God damn,
Tootie. It was enough for her to leave. So It was enough for her to leave.
Go ahead, Tanya.
This takes us back to a conversation that we had previously in one of our episodes, far as maybe he wasn't that alpha male. Maybe he was that beta male and she wanted that alpha male.
He's not alpha. Let me say that now.
Listen, Trev, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You only know what he tells you.
He might have talked crazy too, and she got tired of being called a rainbow of bitches. You never know what he did.
No.
Just because you don't think he did it doesn't mean he didn't do it.
I can't say no more
monetarily. Doesn't mean
I can't say no more because everybody I know who I'm talking about. So no, this nigga is nice as he's Teddy Ruxpin. He's a nice guy.
It's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth.
Have you heard anything bad about Teddy Ruxpin? No.
Yeah.
No.
That he eat the tapes and mess it up.
He was a good bear. He was a good bear.
He only wears shirts. He don't wear no pants. That's the problem.
Right. He was always exposing himself to the people.
Hey, that shirt was built.
Yeah, I like Ted.
Yeah.
I like Ted. All right, y'all. We ain't gonna stop here, but I'm gonna conclude the recording. Look, y'all, when both spouses have small children from a previous marriage, 70% ends up in divorce. Make sure you respect each other's exes and learn how to co-parent in a positive manner before blending the families. And on that note, until next time, one love, fam. Subscribe to L.U.S.T. Let Us Speak Truth right here on YouTube. And we're out of here.